I am Savvy Mike, and this is Savvy Reviews, and this is my official review of episode 3 from season 3 of Euphoria. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty disappointed with this episode. While I still found it enjoyable enough to give it a fire, I didn't think it was mid. I thought it still moved the story forward. I just felt like the wedding was a bit of a nothing burger. It was a lot of conflicts being brung into the scenario and situation, and instead of it all boiling over to a point that nobody can fix it, we just kind of kept rehashing the same shit of Nate owing this one guy money, and the fucking Karen overhearing it and telling her husband like Nate's broke. We were just rehashing things at this point. Thought we would get more with Maddie and with her being there at the wedding, what conflict she might cause. Alexis Demi is still gorgeous as hell as ever in this episode, for sure. And while it was a lot of character development things that happened, it was like story things that happened, but you could feel the awkwardness at least coming from the set part of it all, because Rue literally shows up, doesn't say a fucking word to Cassie, doesn't even stand in the same room as her, it leaves. And then there was a point when Sydney Sweeney was walking down as the bride, and Rue was supposed to be sitting in the crowd. I didn't even see Zendaya. Didn't see her. So of course all those rumors of them not really having any interaction is true. So we start to see that come to light. And like I said, I enjoyed the first 2 episodes really well. The plot kind of moves in this one too. They send the pig back to Alamo, and so Alamo is like, I want to stick Lori in the heart. How do I do it? Rue tells her, well, she loves her bird, Paladin. So they give Paladin a visit. And while that's happening and going on, like I said, Rue pops up at the wedding, gets a call that they're about to do the drop over to Lori's house, and I guess, take her bird away from her. And so Rue just has to abruptly leave the wedding. Oh, I have to go. You know what I mean? So clearly forced. And while, like I said, it does move the plot forward, so it still kind of sticks it on its trajectory to take us wherever it's taking us by the end of the season. At the end of the day, it did feel kind of forced, and it didn't feel natural. It felt like, okay, we need Rue to do something this episode that has nothing to do with this wedding, because Sydney Sweeney and Zendaya don't like each other for whatever reason. They really have no reason not to like each other. I don't know what the fucking beef is between them. Well, I don't even know why they would have beef. What, one thinks they're more important and popping than the other? I mean, while that could be argued, sure. I mean, Sydney Sweeney had a few hit movies, I guess. and Zendaya. At the end of the day, does it matter? Does it truly fucking matter? Not to the point where you can't do your job and be in the same room together and actually have some dialogue together. Like, you're actors for a reason. All that bullshit that you don't like about the person in real life shouldn't really matter, especially if you have to work with them. Look, get your bag. And so yeah, nothing really truly and then we get kind of a flashback to what Jules has been going through and what she kind of had going on before she ran back into Rue and whatnot. And apparently, rich niggas like trannies. And so she's a tranny. So, she's out there making her bread off of fucking rich niggas that are into some, and hey, it's like, look, we're inclusive over here at I Am Savvy Mike TV. I have a problem with it. So it is what it is. And it's the truth. I mean, it's not true. Rich niggas got some kinks, and that's one of them. And so look, I am a heterosexual male, so there that is. But like I said, I wasn't cringed out or weirded out. Honestly, I like Hunter Schafer. I think Hunter Schafer is an amazing actress. Yeah, an amazing actress. I think she does an amazing job. Okay. So I think her portrayal as Jules here, and I got that off of watching her in that one movie. What's the name of that movie? I forgot the name of it. What's the name of that movie Hunter Schafer was in? Oh shit, typing that in. Yeah, Cuco. That movie, I watched that movie. That was a good movie. That was a good movie, and she did a great job at it. So she definitely got some acting prowess, to say the least. So, and she does a great job here. It is definitely Jules centered this episode, like a lot. has to do with her, even her and Nate having an interaction at some point, even her seeing the dad again. Rest in peace to Eric Dane. Regardless of it, that happens, and the big climax of all of this wedding, right? And then the big climax of Rue going to see Lori again. That's that. We'll get back to that. But the big climax of the wedding. A buddy that Nate owes money to, the guy that we saw, the funeral director guy, who clearly is not just a funeral director. He shows up to the wedding. He sees all the money that's been spent on flowers. And then proceeds to ask Nate where is his. He's like, he's gonna spend all his money on this stuff. Where is my money? And it's just like Nate tries to explain to him it's his wedding day. Look, he couldn't spare no expense, but he has his bread, so he'll get paid soon. Sorry, I'm shuffling cards right now. That's like a thing I do when I just want to move my hands. I'm sorry. But yeah, Buddy says, okay, congratulates Cassie and Nate on their being married now, and just lets Nate know he gonna see him about that money. And he did that same night. Niggas couldn't even go on a honeymoon. Buddy pulled up, cut a pinky toe off of Nate, and said, look, lessons have to be learned, I guess. And this will probably, hopefully, help you get my bread to me a bit sooner rather than later. And Cassie's fucked up about it. She actually got hit. She's bleeding. She's like, I'm bleeding. On her wedding day, I know. And it was just like, it kind of metaphorically looks into that perspective and lens of what was the point of doing OnlyFans. Still, wedding day still went awry, and the flowers, the $50,000 you had to spend on flowers had nothing to do with it. Had nothing at all to do with it. So what was the point in it all? It's sometimes we gotta, like, it's not about the material of it all, and it's really more so about the love, right? That's what it should be about. And so Cassie learns that lesson pretty fucking fast. And then you have Rue. She's at Lori's house, and Buddy, the black guy that doesn't really speak much, but has some cool ass aura, I'm not gonna lie. He shows up with her, and they proceed to act like they're about to do a drop, make sure they test whatever they get from them, because last time it ended up killing somebody. And while they're doing that, well, they proceed to, do the bird in, at least, set plans to. And so that happens, they leave. Of course, they got some weird racist tension going on with these Nazi boys. That's what that is. So, they leave. And while they're leaving, I suspiciously ask myself, because Rue proceeds to get pulled over by the cops here, and the DEA pulls her off. So it's not just regular cops. These are cops that's probably been trailing her, know who she is, knows what she does, knows who she works for, and needs her to get the being informant. We know exactly where this is going, which is honestly kind of generic to me, because it's just like, this whole time Rue has been, and while I guess, she's a kid, we can't make her an informant. At the same time, you would have think the feds would have been picked her up. But I guess they were waiting on the right moment, and I guess this was the right moment, because I guess they're seeing that Kingpin like Alamo is beefing with another Kingpin like World Lori, and bodies could drop because of that. So, and bodies have dropped because of that. So we need to get. And I think what probably set them off was the stripper dying, and not being reported missing, and she's just nobody's said anything about her. So I think that kind of, and they probably were watching Rue that whole time with Alamo and what was going on there and what happened there, and probably could piece two and two together. Who knows? We'll find out in the next episode, but it's still kind of generic. I'm not gonna lie. that was the most generic thing that could have happened at the end of this. It don't even really feel like a cliffhanger. I'm just like, okay, I guess we'll see what Rue turn rat, and I guess that's her way to freedom in a sense. Getting rid of both problems that she has in her life, that being Lori and now Alamo. She went from one owner to another one, but hey, at least this one she's dealing with isn't racist and deals in pussy, right? So he's not a bad guy. We don't really know much about Alamo, but we know Lori's a dickhead. So as long as she's away from her, that's all that matters. Regardless of it, and I hope that's who we I hope Bruce just throws Lori under the bus. Say, hey, I'll tell you everything I need to about them racist dickheads. They fucking suck. They made me swallow golf balls of fucking fentanyl and cross it over the fucking border. That's what they made me do. They're horrible people. But before you do that, Rue, make sure, because it's the feds we're dealing with. Make sure you get a nice tip. Because they'll try to, oh, you told for us, we'll still give you some time. Fuck out of here. No, I need to go home. After I snitch, I need to go home. Regardless of it, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like I said, I still enjoyed this episode, but could have been better. And the cliffhanger felt a bit forced and pretty generic. Like, it's like, we're just going to do the thing that, we all kind of seen coming at some point. But at the end of the day, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, I want this story to be more about what it was setting up to be about. And I'm sure that stuff will probably find a way to tie into itself. So we shall see. Still a fire for me, though. Like I said, still found it enjoyable, but still a lot of issues and shortcomings as far as this episode goes. But hopefully episode 4 picks it back up and we don't, go on a downward trajectory as far as the season goes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, I'm Savvy Mike, and this Savvy Reviews. Peace.